Now, one thing that often gets lost in systems analysis and design, and certainly in user requirements, and so you need to pay on systems requirements, and you need to pay really careful attention to it, is something that is called stakeholder analysis. And what stakeholders are the people who have a stake in what the outcome is. And what stakeholder analysis does is it forces you or gives you a framework to think beyond the obvious. And so take a look at this, this slide here. And so this slide is just a stakeholder analysis of a company. And what it shows is when there's a company, there's some really obvious people who have a stake in the company. All right. So there's the employees, right? And I guess even before the employees, there's the investors. The people who chump up the money are the investors. So they have a stake in the company. Typically, they're given shares for it, actually. So they have a financial stake in the company. Then there's the employees, all right? They have a stake in the company, all right? They work there to make the company work. They work there to get paid, though, so they have a stake, and it's often shown by how much money they get paid and how much time they invest, in working at the company. Then, of course, a very obvious stakeholder in a company are the customers, the people who actually buy the product or service. So I think those are three really obvious stakeholders in almost any company. The investors who chump up the money at the start, the employees who work there, and the customers who buy the product or service. Frequently missed by many people, actually, are other stakeholders that can impact how a company operates. One is the regulators. And so regulators can have an enormous impact on how a company works, how they do business, how the investors get rewarded, how the employees get treated, what sort of customers they are. And so it's really easy to miss regulators, but it can have a massive impact on the other stakeholders and how the company operates. And then from this picture, what you see is pressure groups as well. And there can be environmental constituents, pressure groups that completely change how a company operates. We're seeing a big push now right now to corporate social responsibility. Corporate social responsibility, CSR. Sometimes it's called environmental governance, environmental and social governance, ESG. There you go, another three-letter acronym. What it is how well you are treating the environment, how well you are treating your employers, what the diversity looks like inside your organization at the board level and at the employee level, sometimes even at the customer level. And so there can be pressure groups that impact the way that you look at how the company works. Why do I bring all this stakeholder stuff up? Well, it's important, guys. I bring it up because as you're looking at the system requirements, nearly always you're going to be dealing with the technology department, the IT department. And typically you should get to talk to the users, the people who actually use the product. They will likely be outside the IT department. But at the end of the day, most people forget that there's other people inside a business that are going to have a stake in that particular piece of software. So legal, all right? Legal, HR, finance, operations, there's all these different parts of a company, a client, that are gonna really care about what sort of software gets implemented and what it does, how it gets configured by you. And so what can happen quite easily is you only talk to a very small subset of the people who actually have a stake in the outcome of the software that you're implementing. And so what I need you to do is think about all the different stakeholders who are going to care about this software. And you should be talking, as part of your system requirements and user requirements, you should be talking to all the different stakeholders so you don't miss anyone. Because it might be, let's say the legal department has a particular requirement that they need from this software. And as a user, the user of the software, I don't care what the flipping legal department needs. I don't even think about it, right? Yeah, and that's the problem. I don't think about it, so I don't tell you what needs to be done. You don't ask, so you don't find out. And then you implement all the software, and then it gets put in place. And at the end of the month, the legal department needs to pull some report off there or figure out what's going on for compliance, regulatory compliance. And they're like, where's the report? Where do we get it from? And you can make a huge mistake by not knowing what's going on. So stakeholder analysis is a critical component of what we need to think about here.